Today we're going to learn about number systems. I will be showing you a few number systems and we're going to be relearning how to count them. Let's start with the decimal number system. Now, this number system has 10 digits, hence the name decimal. So they're from 0 to 9. Now, we all know how to count. We all know that 237 comes after 236, for example. But what actually happens when we count? So let's start with the number 6. Now, when we count, we don't really think about it, but we're actually adding 1 to each number. So if we add 1 to that, you know that the answer is 7. We add 1 to that, it's 8. Now, when we add 1 to that, we get 9, but after 9, you know that there are no other digits, so we have to go back to 0. So when we add 1 to 9, we go back to 0, and then we have a carry of 1. Now we just need to copy that down there to get 10. Okay. Now let's look at another example. 748. If we add 1 to that, we get a 749. Now if we add another 1 to that, so 9 goes back to 0 with a carry of 1. We add that 1 to 4 to get 5, and then we just copy 7 to get 750. Now let's look at another number system. The octal number system, which has 8 digits. Obviously, the 8 is not there because you will only have the numbers from 0 to 7. Okay, let's say we start with 6. If we add 1 to 6, we know we get 7. After 7, there's no 8, as we normally count. But if we add 1 to 7, we go back to 0, again with another carry of 1. So we copy it down there, then we get what we see as 10. And if we add another 1 to that, we get 11. Now, on the right side, you will see a table of some decimal numbers and their equivalent octal numbers. For example, 4 in decimal is still the same as 4 in octal. But let's say we look at 9, the equivalent octal number looks like an 11. And 11 actually looks like a 13. So how do we make sure that we know if it's a decimal number or an octal number? So we add a base number to your octal number. So in this case, you have 532 base 8 or 2770 base 8. They're not equivalent to 532 in decimal or 2770 in decimal. Next, let's look at the hexadecimal number system. The hexadecimal number system, from the name, has 16 digits. All the digits from 0 to 9 plus 6 more letters, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, I've placed there for your reference the table of decimal numbers from 0 to 15 and their equivalent in hexadecimal. You will see that the number, for example, of 12 is equivalent to a C. And those are all capital letters. They should be written as capital letters. Now, the 14 is E. 15 is F. So, let's start with D. Now, if we add 1 to that, we're going to get the next digit, which is an E. And if we add a 1 to that, we're going to get an F. Now, if we add 1 to that, we go back to 0 with a carry of 1. Now you have the number 10. Now, that's not a 10 in the decimal number system. So how do we make sure that people know that you mean to write down a hexadecimal number? So we make use of either an H or a 16. We add a small letter H beside the number to express it as hex. Or we add the base at the end of 16. The last number system I'm going to talk about is the binary number system. Okay, binary number system, so it only has 2 digits. These digits, 0 and 1, are called bits. Bit is actually taken from binary digit. It's shortened, that's why they're called bits. Now, before we discuss counting, I'd like to show you some binary operations that might be useful to you. Now, if we're going to be adding 2 zeros, you know we're always going to get a 0. Okay? If we add 0 to 1, we get a 1. If we add 1 to 0, we get another 1. Now, if we add 1 to 1, we don't write down 2 because this is the binary number system. We actually get a 0 with a carry of 1, or what you can see as 1, 0. Now, I've placed there a table of the decimal number system and the binary number system equivalents. Let's start with, for example, the decimal number 10. It's 1010 in binary. Okay. Now, if we add 1 to this, all we need to do is add 1 to the rightmost bit. So 1 plus 0 will get you 1, and then we just have to copy everything else, giving you 1011 or an equivalent of 11 in the decimal number system. If we're going to add another 1 to that, so we get a 0 and a carry of 1. Now, if we add that carry to this one, we get another 0 and another carry of 1. We add that carry to 0, we just get a 1. And all we have to do is copy the last bit. So you get 1100. But again, how do we make sure that people know we're actually using the binary number system? So all we have to do is affix the number 2 at the end of our binary number. Just like that. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.